Welcome to Aligned for Success podcast, where we help chiropractors create practices that truly serve their life's vision. I'm your host, Dr. Nikki, and I'm here to show you how to break free from stagnation, grow your practice, and rediscover the joy of why you became a chiropractor to begin with. Whether you're looking to boost your revenue, spend more time with family, or simply enjoy practice life again, you're in the right place. Let's align your path to success. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Aligned for Success. So today I have to talk to you about full send. And if you follow me on Instagram, you know that inside of the Wealthy Practitioner, we are officially launching the once a year full send program. It starts this Wednesday, October 8th. So it is not too late to sign up, but today I want to talk to you about what does it mean to live a full send life and just give you guys some insight into some full send moments that I've had in my life. So I just really want to ask you guys something. And what would your life look like if you stopped half sending, maybe we say half-assing it, and just went all in? So think about it. How many times have you felt the nudge to do something big, something bold, but something deep down held you back? Maybe you waited for the perfect timing, the perfect finances, the perfect clarity, and we all know that that crap never comes. So that's what I'm talking about today, is what it means to live a full send life. Now, this does not mean making just reckless decisions and just saying yes to everything. We're talking about bold, aligned, wholehearted choices that move you closer to the life that you're actually craving. So what is the future you want to be like? What do they look like? What kind of life are they living? Those are things that require literally taking full send moments. So for me, I feel like the first full send moment I ever took was when I was making a decision to go to college, and I actually chose to go to Penn State when none of my friends were. No one in my family went there. My sister was at Temple, and I just decided that I wanted to go to Penn State. When I was 15, my boyfriend at the time, Andrew, took me to my first Penn State game. His brother was on the Penn State football team. And so we had players' family tickets, and I was on the 50-yard line, like 10 rows up, and I was living. And I was like, oh my God, I have to go to school here. It was just literally so amazing. So I went to this game, and that really made me make the decision that I wanted to go to Penn State. And it was 3 hours away from home. Again, I didn't know anybody, and I just went there, and that was it. That literally has changed the trajectory of my entire life. Even just being there, choosing to be a kinesiology major, didn't know anybody doing that either, didn't know what the heck I would do with it, and then becoming a chiropractor. So when I applied for chiropractic school, that was in freaking Marietta, Georgia. Never even had been to the South except for like Kentucky to visit my dad's family. Never been to Georgia. And then I just decided, let's do this. Let's choose this as a career and go to chiropractic school. Then when I was in chiropractic school, I decided I was going to move to Alabama to follow my boyfriend at the time. So I moved to Alabama with my boyfriend who I met in chiropractic school. And now there's like another whole series of full send moments. So lived in Tuscaloosa for a few years, didn't like it, decided, oh, I don't think I like my boyfriend that much. Broke up with him, met Jonathan really shortly after, and we got married less than a year later. I remember coming home to Pennsylvania and having him meet my family in April. And my stepdad, Joe, was like, this trip better not be that you guys are going to get engaged. So Jonathan needed to meet us so that you guys are going to get engaged. I was like, oh, no, sir. We got engaged less than a month later, and my parents were pretty pissed, right? They're like, you always make bad decisions. You date losers, blah, blah, blah. And I didn't listen to them, and I ended up getting married to Jonathan, and we're almost been married for 10 years. It will be 10 years in a few months, but that was a full freaking send decision, and it's obviously one of the best decisions that I've ever made. So we got married. We bought and sold like 5 houses in the time that we've been married. We had Hazel just, I don't know, 2 or 3 years after we were married. And even the house that we live in now, we couldn't afford it when we bought it, but I knew that we would be able to afford it just based on the trajectory that my office was on, that his career was on. I knew, because I put faith in ourselves and faith in the future Nikki and Jonathan, that we would be able to afford this house. And so we definitely are able to afford it now. And it was just one of the very best decisions that we've made. But all of those moments were completely full send moments. I didn't even say that I opened a practice. What about opening a practice? I had absolutely no money when I opened a practice. I was an associate. You guys know that. Wasn't really planning on opening a practice and was put into a position where I had no choice. I didn't have any money. I couldn't get a business loan. I had really terrible credit from another episode, if you listen to that, where someone stole my identity, another ex-boyfriend. And I took out a loan for my office at like a 40% interest rate or something crazy. I have a whole episode on that. But that was a full send moment, right? I trusted in myself that I would get that paid off. I trusted that I would be able to make money when I opened my office. And I just remember opening my practice and telling my mom that I was doing that. And she was supportive, but she was also like, I can't bail you out of this. And I was like, okay. I had absolutely no safety net. So all of these decisions that I've made to just go freaking full send, honestly, they've changed everything for me, right? And for my family. And so if you've been stuck in hesitation, or you're waiting for permission, or if you're living in the quote someday, this episode serves as your reminder that someday is not freaking coming. It is so time to go full send. And so what does full send really even mean? And so when we say full send at the Wealthy Practitioner, first and foremost, here's what we do not mean. It's not reckless. It's not careless. It's not about saying yes to every little shiny thing that crosses in your past. Full send is about courage. It's about alignment. It's about getting clear with what you want. And when the opportunity shows up, whether you feel ready or not, you don't just freaking dabble, you just dive full force in. The opposite of full send is half send. And so that's where you just keep your foot in 2 worlds, one in safety and one in possibility. You say, well, someday I'll do it. And you just tiptoe at the edge and you continue to play small. Half sends, they drain you because they're leaving you stuck in that in between of knowing what you deserve and knowing what you really, really want. So why do most people not go full send? Well, it's not easy, right? It's not easy to just make big life-changing decisions. But one of the reasons is fear of failure. So what if I do this and it doesn't work? I had a really big fear of failure with opening my practice for obvious reasons. What if it fails? For getting married to someone that I knew my parents didn't want me to get married to. They love him now, but they did not want me to get married. And so what if that shit didn't work out, right? It would be like, my mom would be like, I freaking told you so, Nikki. That's a terrible feeling. So fear of judgment. What will people think if I do this and I just fall on my face? And another one is that comfort zones are just disguised as responsibility, right? We tell ourselves like we're being so wise, we're being cautious, we're being so freaking responsible. But really all it is that we're just too scared to make a big decision. So here's the truth, guys. Staying safe is actually the riskiest thing that you can do because time doesn't stop. Time just keeps on going. Life keeps moving. Time passes. Whether you make these decisions or not, life is going to continue on, whether you decide to go full send or not. So I've had seasons, of course, where I've stayed small. I let fear win. And just looking back, the regret of not doing things is always heavier than the fear of if you just tried, right? And so you're all the time like, I don't know the quote, but like the fear of never trying is worse than regret. You know what I'm talking about. So how do you guys actually live out a full send life? So one practical tip is that you have to choose your vision over comfort. Comfort keeps you small. Vision will stretch you. So whenever you're facing a decision, ask, does this align with where I want to be 5 years from now? If the answer is no, then you shouldn't be doing it. If the answer is hell yeah, then you should be figuring out, okay, how do I go all in? The second one is aligned action. So full send, again, it doesn't mean saying yes to everything. It just means saying yes to the right things. So your vision is super important, clarity on who you want to be and what you want to become. It just means saying yes to all the things that light you up, line up with your values, your purpose, and most importantly, your priorities. Then you have to have some faith and you have to have some follow through. So anyone can make a big decision in the moment, but the real full send life is about sticking with things when they're not exciting anymore. That is when true transformation happens. So anyone can decide to open a practice. Anyone can decide to open up a second job. Anyone can decide to do these things. But if they quit the minute that stuff got hard or difficult, then that wasn't really a full send moment either. So anytime I need to make a big decision, these are just some pillars that I come back to so that it will help me make these decisions. And if you guys are wondering, like, how do I know if it's time for a full send moment? Just ask yourself these questions, or does this sound like you? How do you know when it's your time? Here are a few red flags of a half send life. You're constantly saying someday. Me and Gabrielle will talk to people all the time that they'll be like, oh, I'm interested in TWP or doing this or doing that. And they're like, yeah, but like, it's just not the right time. And someday when I have more money, when I have more this, when I have more free time, when my kids are older, whatever the freaking excuses, but you're just constantly saying someday. The next would be you just feel stuck, uninspired, or restless. So if you feel like every day that you're getting up and you're going to work, like this crap sucks, that's the true feeling of stuckness. We'll have bad days, we'll have days where we don't want to go to work, but if that's like your norm and your constant of every day, then you're living a half send life. Deep down, you know you're playing smaller than you were meant to, right? And so there are people who are completely content, completely fine with living, quote, a small life. And then there are people who know that they're designed to do big things, to have a big impact, to leave a legacy for their family. And they know that they have to make aligned actions and decisions that will actually help get them there. So if any of those sound like you, if this hits home, then guys, guess what? It's time. So it is time to just join our full send program, go all freaking in and just learn what could be on the other side of that. So ask yourself, guys, if money, time, and fear weren't factors, what would you do? Where in your life are you still holding back? And what one move would change everything if you just went all in? That's how you can figure out what your full send moments are. So guys, I challenge you, if you have not signed up for our full send course yet, please do. We are kicking off in just a few days. It is $55 at the time of this recording. And you will not regret it. I did it last year. I am around Stephanie and the Wealthy Practitioner team every single day. And I'm constantly up leveling, consistently making choices and taking chances that are aligned with the person that I want to become and creating this life for my family based on all of these decisions. So if you guys have questions about full send, please just shoot me a DM. I have my link to sign up in the bio. You don't have to be on live. You don't have to be a chiropractor. You can have any kind of business that you want. You can sell mittens on kittens online. If you've ever watched It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, you know what that's about. If not, so sorry. But you guys, it doesn't have to be difficult. This can also be a decision that you've made to just go all in, right? Go all in on yourself because you are the return on investment. So click that link and we cannot wait to see you inside of Full Send. Thanks so much for tuning into another episode of Align for Success. I will see you next week.
Thanks for tuning in to Aligned for Success. If today's episode resonated with you, please be sure to subscribe and leave a review. This helps other chiropractors find their way to practice freedom too. Remember, true success comes from when your practice aligns with your life's purpose. Until next time, I'm Dr. Nikki, reminding you that a thriving practice and a fulfilling life go hand in hand. See you next week.